Marco Moretto, Unusual Cases. Hello everyone, my name is Marco Moretto, and I've been an umpire since 2013. I'm certified by the DRA in the region of Veneto of A Series Baseball. In this presentation, we will speak about some rare instances of situations that occur on the baseball field, which may only occur 2 or 3 times a year, but are important for us to be aware of and be in preparation for so that we know what to do when they happen. Allow me to introduce the various situations that we will be discussing in today's session, which you can see on your screen. These include the squeeze play, the appeal for missing a base while base running, overtaking a runner on the bases, interference at home plate by the hitter, the broken bat, legally obstructing the defense, unintentional interference, and when 2 runners occupy the same base. As mentioned before, these situations rarely occur, but it is important to be prepared for them to happen and know how to respond according to the rules of the game to avoid misinterpretations. Let us begin. We will commence with the squeeze play, and we'll be watching this recording, which you'll see on your screen, to help understand this type of situation. Here we see a squeeze play with the catcher tagging the runner trying to score from third base, making an out at home. The umpire did not make his call right away and is trying to calm both teams, which have emerged from their respective dugouts in a passionate attempt to make their claim to this play at the plate. Let's watch this again and take note that the catcher is positioning himself on the plate to receive the pitch from the pitcher and make a tag on the base runner who is out at home plate. Now let us break down this play from all those involved. Who are those involved in this play? They include the pitcher, batter, catcher, and runner. The runner has a few options here. He is attempting to score, and his only responsibility is to do so without being tagged out. Let us see what the other pitchers can do. The pitcher has 2 options. He can either step off the rubber with his pivot foot, and as such, theoretically become an infielder. His other option is to speed up his delivery to the plate with his pitch he's committed to throwing. The pitcher must act in accordance with the rules of the game and avoid balking at all costs, which therefore gives him either of these 2 options. What can the hitter do? Well, if the pitcher steps off the rubber and effectively becomes another infielder, as stated earlier, the hitter should make an attempt to step out of the batter's box. In this way, he can avoid the possibility of committing interference at home plate. If, instead, the pitcher delivers the pitch, the batter has every right, as well as the responsibility, of trying to hit the pitch or put down a bunt. He has the opportunity to swing or execute an effective bunt, as is always his right when a pitch is delivered. When the catcher has received the pitch, which obviously has been hit or made contact with, then the batter has now lost his right to maintain the previously assumed space and must make a concerted effort to move out of the way to allow the catcher to perform his role in tagging the base runner attempting the score, and make every attempt to do this properly and without interfering with the catcher. What can the catcher do? Well, if the pitcher steps off the rubber, then the catcher can move forward and assume the space at home plate to prepare for a throw from the pitcher. If instead the pitcher does not step off the rubber and delivers the pitch, then the catcher must maintain and stay in his normal position behind home plate. If he does not do this, then he has interfered with the hitter, and we will go into more detail on what this means in the following slide. What kind of penalty exists? Well, if the catcher moves over the plate as the pitch is arriving to home plate and interferes with the hitter who's positioned in an attempt to try and hit the pitch, then this action is illegal. This is interference on the hitter by the catcher, and results in the hitter being awarded first base. Also, this play is categorized as a balk, and although caused by the catcher, it is scored against the pitcher since he is the only one who can legally commit a balk. The rules of the game states that any time a pitcher commits a balk, then all of the base runners currently occupying a base are awarded the next base. So if there was a runner on third base, then he is awarded home, and should there be other runners on base, then are also permitted to advance one total base. If instead the pitcher correctly steps off the rubber, then he is not going to throw the pitch. If the hitter attempts to hit this ball thrown, which is not a pitch, or interferes with the play occurring at the plate with the catcher and base runner, then he has committed an act of interference. If there are less than 2 outs, the penalty is applied to the runner, who is declared out in this attempt to steal home or score from third. This rule is put in place to effectively penalize the team on offense by limiting their ability to score a run. The hitter would then remain in the box with the same count. If there are 2 outs, the batter is then declared out, which effectively brings that half inning to a close and eliminates the possibility of the offensive team to score any runs in this situation. There would be no need to declare the base runner out because the hitter becomes the third and final out of the inning. As we return to watch this video again, we see that the pitcher has not stepped off the pitching rubber and has thrown a legal pitch, and then the catcher has thus committed an illegal action. The catcher has interfered with the hitter's ability to hit the pitch by entering in his batter's box, and this action results in the pitcher being given a balk and the offensive team being awarded a run. The hitter does not have to stop from taking a swing at the pitch, not to say he should try to cause harm to the catcher, which would result in other negative implications, but he does not have to change his approach given that the catcher is in the wrong with his interfering of the hitter's space. It is sufficient to declare that the catcher has made the mistake by interfering with the hitter and causing an illegal interference on the play. Let us summarize what has happened here. The pitcher does not step off the rubber, therefore he makes his pitch. The catcher interferes with the hitter physically by preventing his full swing, and the balk is applied as the ball does not pass the foul lines of the diamond. Therefore, all base runners advance one base and the hitter is awarded first base. Let us watch this new video and see how the squeeze play can occur in another way. This was a play during last year's World Series. Watch the pitcher's actions here. He properly steps off the rubber and gives the catcher the right to move towards home plate. The hitter has also done his part to step out of the box as soon as he sees the pitcher step off, leaving the appropriate space to allow the play at the plate to take place. The catcher has effectively tagged the runner before he has touched home plate, and therefore we have an out at home that is correctly made. In this example, the pitcher has changed the way the play unfolds by the simple act of stepping off the rubber and throwing home in a manner that helps his catcher legally tag the runner attempting the score. This is a summary of what can potentially occur in a squeeze play and when a catcher brings his forward motion to home plate in order to receive a throw from a pitcher who has legally stepped off the rubber. He has the ability to tag the runner attempting the score. Let us move on to the appeal for a base that was skipped by a base runner. I will not go through all of the listed rules in this particular situation, but we will watch a video illustrating how this may unfold. This video shows a hitter who has hit a ball into right field, resulting in his teammate, who was already on base, scoring a run, and him ending up at third base with a triple. Umpires are convening to discuss what has happened. Here, the pitcher steps off the rubber and makes a throw to third base in his belief that the runner skipped a base. However, the throw sails over the third baseman's head, and the runner who was previously at third has come in to score on the play. Here the umpires reconvene and the third base umpire gives the safe sign. But what does this sign reflect? On the replay, we see this overthrow once more, and also the fact that the ball never leaves the field of play. Let us break down this situation. The defending team intended on making an appeal at third base for a skipped base by the base runner on the previous hit. The pitcher steps off correctly from the rubber and makes a throw to third base, but it sails over the third baseman's head. But the ball does not leave the field of play. Therefore, we must ask whether or not the appeal remains open for consideration by the umpires. According to the rule, if the defensive team on its first appeal attempt errs, a request for a second appeal on the same runner on the same base shall not be allowed by the umpire. The meaning of the word error is that the defensive team threw the ball out of play on their attempt to appeal. In this case, we have seen that ball does not leave the field of play. In the video, we see that the ball does not leave the field of play and that the third baseman does well to retrieve it and make no attempt to throw the runner out at home. Neither did he try to make an out at another base, given that there were no other runners on base, and as such, there is still an option to make an appeal. Therefore, this team still has the possibility of making their intended appeal to the umpires, of which being that the base runner skipped the base on the previous play. Let us take note of the action of the umpire. The gesture of safe made by the umpire, as we have previously seen, was made because the base was correctly tagged, according to what the umpire saw take place. It would have been a mistake on his part to refuse this appeal another time. In this case, the option to appeal was still possible, given that the ball did not leave the field of play, and this case illustrates that fact. Despite the ball being overthrown, there was still the possibility of appealing once more, as the ball did not leave the field of play and was retrieved by the defensive player. Let us move on to the next situation, that being overtaking the runner. We will watch a simple example and then one less easy to understand. Here we have a runner on first base. And the pitcher delivers his pitch and the ball is hit to deep left field, where the left fielder does a tremendous job of keeping the ball from leaving the ballpark. That being said, this is not what we're looking for in this case. We see that the runner who was at first base ends up at second, and the batter stops at first base. This seems simple, but now that we watch the replay, you might be able to understand what has happened. The umpire is speaking with the manager of the defensive team to explain his viewpoint and the ruling of the play. The other umpires are speaking with the manager of the team on offense. Here we have it. The umpire gestures that one runner is safe while the other is called out. Let us see what happened exactly. Again, we see that the hitter who hit this near home run passes first base, where the other runner was tagging up to make sure the ball was not caught, and then this runner who was waiting on first base advances to second base, while the player who hit the ball returns to occupy first base. What has happened here? The players involved are the first base runner and the batter who becomes a base runner. According to the rule, any runner is determined to be out who passes a preceding runner on the base paths. As stated before, this example is easily understood with the application of the rules of the game. The batter who became a base runner is out, while the other base runner is declared safe at second base, as he committed no infraction while he tagged and waited at first base. The batter who became a runner committed the mistake here and should have not passed the existing base runner. Let us watch another example again under the theme of overtaking the runner, despite not seeming as such. Here we see a rundown between third base and home, and both runners are tagged and declared out by the umpire. Let us analyze what happened here. The runner on second base advances to third base. The runner who was on third base returns to third because he was caught in a rundown. There is no forced play here as the ball was not hit into play and first base was not occupied. What interests us in applying the rule of overtaking the runner? Is it necessary to tag both runners here? Is our question to answer. Base runner, who is labeled as R2, was previously on second base, whereas base runner labeled as R3 was caught in the rundown. In the second image on your screen, we see that the base runner, R3, has run further down the foul line and is now on the other side of base runner 2. In this case, there was no need to tag base runner R2 to deem him out, due to the fact that base runner R3's actions have already made him out, because base runner R3 reverse places with base runner R2, despite base runner R2 not even moving. This runner is now out, according to the rules of the game. The tagging of runner R3 is absolutely necessary, but tagging R2 was not required due to the rule that states any runner who returns and takes the place of the runner behind him results in that runner automatically declared out. We must adhere to the rule book which explains the situation to us. To repeat, the runner who was previously behind on the bases is automatically out because of the actions of the runner who was previously in front of him because of the fact that he switched places with him. Allow us to review a more general rule and one that is interesting to discuss. Here we have interference at home plate caused by the catcher. Let us watch this video. The runner and catcher collide, and the umpire gives the ruling as out on the field. The hitter who becomes a runner does nothing out of the ordinary besides run to first base, as is the base runner's right. Let us watch this again. There is no hesitation on the part of either player. As we can see, the bat does get in the way of the runner's path and the ability to reach first base. Here, was there on the interference? That being said, there are other things that we need to be considering. The rule 6.081 when a bat ride a horse while feeling the to the brain may cause in place and the previous video. Although there was contact with the catcher, the only the ball part back the is team give him the advantage according to his objective in the game. The previous video showed the umpire making the gesture of out because the runner was tagged, whereas in this video, the gesture is safe because there was no interference and it signals to both teams that the play should continue as normal. Let us discuss another case, that being the broken bat. It has its own specific rule to be applied. Here, the batter makes contact but breaks his bat in the process. The batter makes contact and the bat was baseman even retrieves the ball from the attempt to make the stop. Their to his last peak this on that defense and first team, which is current last is who has another have in this particular case, the base runner was far from the time the first team and it's part of the and the have a pair that did not catch out. That was attempt to play the person has the right to be on the playing field. We must ignore the interference. Not positive if interference or coach. base, and therefore we have two runners on the same base. The second base is all who is the second all the way for next runner second base thrown out. Not here. Here. Runner for the second base. He are he has caught and returns the back. Are now so have played now field and the umpire's ruling. The rule states two on the plate. The ball touches the runner shall have the base be stated to out by base so on and third not touch protected base force on let that then what is out to and if all for to defensive